building technology. We are about to we are about building trust, innovation, and community. And some of our works cuts across cloud security solutions, risk management, and security awareness initiatives that make cybersecurity practical, accessible, and impactful. Also, one of the things we are really excited about currently, which is like another reason why this whole webinar series is becoming a reality for us, is our flagship platform, which is Akia One. We call it our little baby. So Akia One is our first product and is going to be our first product for now. It's a next generation threat intelligence platform built especially for fintechs, mobile money providers, and cloud powered companies. So Akia One helps organizations move from just reacting to threats to predicting and preventing them with the use of AI, and giving them the kind of insight that generic cybersecurity tools often miss. So apart from cybersecurity and all of that, Cyberfort is not just only about that. We are also about the people. And when we mean the people, we are concerned about impacting people and making sure that they are fully aware of basic tools and initiatives in the cybersecurity space. So we have an initiative called the Global School Hour, our empowerment program that helps women around the community, environment, and the world break into cloud and cybersecurity through mentorship, training, and community. And we also have a podcast, right? We have a podcast called Cyber Exhibits, where we talk about latest in cybersecurity, share industry insights, and connect with security experts across Nigeria. And we will say that we have actually invited people, like people to come and talk about cybersecurity in general. And I would like that you guys can check out our podcast on Spotify and Apple Music. So now, whether you are here to learn, network, or explore opportunities in cybersecurity, you are in the right place, because we have a resource hub for this as well. And we are thrilled to have you join this webinar series. And we hope that you join our community too. So to make this conversation very, very exciting, we have somebody joining us, and she's a very special woman, a woman that has made an incredible impact in the world of cybersecurity. And our guest speaker for this webinar series is Onone Obazi Aqua. I'm sorry if I murdered the name, please forgive me. She is a seasoned cybersecurity professional and a tech entrepreneur with deep expertise in cloud security, DevSecOps, and threat modeling. So you see that we actually want to look for somebody that is seasoned for you guys. I mean, she's the founder of Cloud Maven Cyber Academy, a platform dedicated to empowering aspiring professionals to launch successful cybersecurity careers through her work. She's also helping people across Africa and beyond find their path in tech, turning curiosity into confidence and potential into progress. So you're in the right place, trust me. And also, she has also been featured in an award-winning African documentary for her impact in tech education, a true testament to her dedication and influence in shaping the next generation of cybersecurity professionals. She is also a passionate person. So you can see that we brought somebody in line with what we are about as a company. She's passionate about helping beginners break into cybersecurity and build meaningful future ready careers. And I think that's basically what the webinar topic is all about, building a career in cybersecurity, basically. So please, I would like for you guys to use the clapping emoji to welcome her and, make her feel welcome. Thank you so much, Onone Obazi, for joining us. We are glad that you honored our, everything. Okay. We just want to dive right in so that we don't, waste too much time on introductions and all. So would love to hear from you. I would love for you to tell us how, you can give us a bit about your journey into cybersecurity and what inspired you to build a career in the field.
Okay, thank you so much, Messi. So is this very quick one? Before I ask my question, good evening, everybody. Is this a panel session, or am I going to have slides or whatnot? So how is it going to go? Because I thought I was going to share my screen or something.
Oh, if you want to, you can share your screen. It's not a panel section. It's just, will I say, is basically conversational, like you having to tell us what you have for us, and then we just take insights from it.
Okay, then no problem. So to quickly answer your question, that's how I began my journey in cybersecurity, yes, and what inspired me to pursue cybersecurity. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay. So I remember while growing up, I was very enthusiastic about a lot of things. If you know me very well, which I'm very sure just very few people here know that, I like exploring, right? I like getting my hands into new things. I love doing new things, right? And so growing up, whenever I saw something that sparked my interest, I would want to learn it. Not even want to learn it, I would learn it. I think the first thing I wanted to do with my life was to become a lawyer. And when I said I wanted to be a lawyer, I had one friend who is my best friend. And she said that lawyers are liars. Well, guess what she is today, guys? She's a lawyer. She's going to law school next year. So she studied law. It's very, like, I remember, I can never forget it because it was a very long conversation from church back home about how lawyers are bad people. So I changed my mind. I said, no, I can't be a liar. Because I thought about it, will I be defending bad people too? I can't do that. So I said, instead of being a lawyer, I now watched one Philippine movie. All this Selena Mago, I don't know if anybody knows. So I watched this movie and they were cooking, very nice dishes. And I found out that people can actually go to school and be master chefs, not just normal cooking that we do. So I said I was going to be a chef. My elder sister said I wanted to do mama put. I was like, no, I can't be mama put. I want to be professional chef. So unless you go abroad, I was like, hey, that would be very hectic. So I would not do that. Instead, I want to be a fashion designer because I love fashion. Whenever I see people on the runway, it excites me. So I wanted to be a fashion designer. She said I will start from Mama Taylor. I was like, yeah. Because, growing up, most of the time, it was just either being a doctor, being an engineer. And when that was when computer science was there coming out, so they were really pushing that women should go into programming. So I said, fine, let me just start this coding of a thing. Because it was actually one of the things that really interested me, tech. So I started programming. I did not have a good instructor. So that was why I hated programming growing up. And fast forward, I wasn't very sure that coding was what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be a pediatric surgeon because I wanted to save children's lives. So it was a whole it was a whole journey of me jumping from one idea to the other as to who I wanted to be in the future. Right. So I remember when during a holiday, my elder brother came back from work. He came back for holiday, and at that time he was working with DSS. Is it DSS? I forgot. It was something about, I think, aerospace in Nigeria. Aerospace in Nigeria, and he was part of the mechanical engineers there. And he told me that one of the things that he could do was he could access everybody's social media in the house. When I heard it, for everybody it was like, oh my god, wow, wow, wow. For me, I was like, that is invasion of my privacy. Why would you do that? Like, do you even have the right to do that? And he was like, literally, they're under government, so that's how they can do it. And I was like, so the government is just there spying on us. I felt betrayed. But then, more than betrayed, I felt intrigued. I was curious. How did this happen? How was it possible? Curious as to how he was able to do that and how I could stop him from doing that. Then I met his fiancée later on, few months later. I was still thinking deeply. After he told me that thing, I went and changed all my passwords on my social media, right, to push him out. But I was still thinking as to what I can do to be in that kind of field and to stop such things from happening to people. And that was when I met his fiancée, and she told me about cybersecurity. So okay, that means this is what I want. And then I finally found what I want to do in tech. I want to do cybersecurity. I made my research, and I was particularly interested in cloud security. Although I was interested in cybersecurity, cloud security struck my attention more. And I think the following year, it was not until the following year, my elder sister was scrolling through Facebook and saw the application for Cyber Girls 1.0. Right. The founder of Cycle 40 is a cyber girl. So we're both cyber girls. I don't know how I said clock it, but we're going an official meeting. But anyways, yes, that's it, right? So I applied for the Cyber Girls Fellowship Program, and that was how I started my cybersecurity journey. One thing that pushed me to want to do cybersecurity was because I found out my privacy was, I did not have my privacy, right? It had been breached. And one thing that kept me going was that I wanted to be able to help more people to stay safe online and to also be aware about the dangers of not taking certain things seriously, such as having strong passwords. Because it was easy for them to just break into my password, because back then my password was my phone number. So I wasn't even surprised later on when I learned cybersecurity how he was even able to access social media. So at the end of the day, I realized that he probably would have even been lying as to gaining special kind of access. He may have just guessed it, right? So the normal way that hackers do, right? So that is basically what motivated me to start my career in cybersecurity and how I started through the Cyber Girls Fellowship Program. I hope I've been able to answer that question, Messi.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much. That was actually very quite inspiring. And I think I liked hearing you talk more also about IO too as well. Okay. For those that are new and then they want to like get started like with the whole cybersecurity thing, because we know now that most avenue to switch into this career path are quite pricey and all, and some people might not have the opportunity to want to venture into them because of all the price, and they are not like sure of the credibility of the site and all. So what key certifications or like skills can you like recommend for them? Maybe even like some that are probably affordable, like beginner friendly ones that you can give or recommend to people that are just joining this new career path.
Okay, so to the audience, right? I'm not asking you to unmute your mic. I'm just going to ask you to do this. How many of us have heard of Cisco Networking Academy? If you have, just give any reaction. No need to unmute your mic and speak. Just give a reaction. react maybe with a heart emoji, thumbs up, clapping, whatever. Okay, so you chose that emoji. Thank you. As far as you responded, yes, thank you. So Cisco Networking Academy is one of the highly recognized tech companies out there, right? Cisco started with networking, as the name implies, Cisco networking, right? So it started with teaching networking because it was solely focused on networking, network system admin, and all that. But along the line, as the world evolved, Cisco decided to evolve as well, and their academy too. They offer cybersecurity training for free. What that means is that anybody who wants to start learning cybersecurity can easily go there and learn for free. I remember when they initially started the program, started running it. Those platforms they're talking about that are pricey, you don't know whether they're legit or not. The fake ones were selling the courses on Cisco. What I'm telling you is that they will tell you that you're going to be certified by Cisco. But what you have to do is that you have to pay them 120,000 for the training. By the time you pay 120,000 for the training, it was 6 weeks training, 120,000 naira. The only thing that they will give you is access to Cisco platform. And we all know that, guys, for those of us who know Cisco Networking Academy, yes, they give you insights to various career paths. But one thing that they really lack is the practical aspect. They don't go in depth into that area. So there are people that were paying 120,000 naira as of 2023. I think that was when it came out, 2020. Yes, 2023 when it came out. They pay 120,000 naira to learn on Cisco that is a free platform. So if you don't know about these things, right, you're going to fall victim to those kind of platforms. Now that is why Cycler Forte has made this kind of webinar available to us so that we are enlightened. So if you want to learn cybersecurity, that is one way to start for free. One of the perks with that as well is that with every module you complete, you're given and awarded a badge and certificate. And at the end, if you take the junior cybersecurity analyst program from start to finish, which should realistically take you nothing less than 4 months if you're not rushing, if you're digesting everything properly. I know because when it started, I had to take the course to know how to take it and say, okay, well, my students should also take this along on the side. So while they're learning with me the practical aspect and every other aspect, live sessions, they also take the courses for the badges and certificates, right? I took the course judiciously and it took me nothing less than 6 months. 6 months because I was busy with other things, right? But 6 months. I remember when I joined the program, it was the I4J cybersecurity program. I joined that program and they were beginners in the field. Most of them were beginners. I know that I made a search on Twitter for people who started the I4J program. And those people who started the I4J program on Twitter, there were about 3 of us. And those other 2 people were already in cybersecurity. So when we used to see people, we'll see the beginners saying that they finished the course because they will give you every week you should turn in this, turn in that. But sometimes the week, the duration that they were giving were not realistic enough to be able to digest the information on Cisco, right? Because besides, like I said, the only thing that they lack there is the practical aspect, which is still very crucial, right, in your journey. But it is a great way to start as a beginner in cybersecurity. So when you're digesting it judiciously, the duration that they were giving for some of those modules were not realistic enough. But you see a beginner, they are giving you 2 weeks. The beginner that does not know any cybersecurity is finishing in 1 week, some less than 1 week. Then you already know something cybersecurity, but you just want to learn more. You want to learn more with all your heart. It's taking you more than 2 weeks. So at the point, we were like, is it that? I honestly thought I was alone at the beginning. I thought I was alone, right? But moving further, I had to ask them. I was like, am I the only one who this thing is taking longer than it's supposed to? They were like, it's also taking them longer, and they're surprised that beginners are finishing it on time. So it was not until later we realized that answers can be seen online. So there's this thing that Cisco does. You answer quiz. Before you're able to move to the next module, you must complete that quiz. So if you don't pass that quiz, you cannot move on to the next module. So the answers were available online. So maybe this is what they are doing because the program said that they were giving them access to the course for just 4 months. They had to extend it to 6 months because at the end of the day, people were not finishing in 4 months. Those people that were finishing well. And there were beginners that actually finished in 4 months. Then you can see that those ones are actually taking the answers from online. So please, if after this webinar, you go and sign up for Cisco Networking Academy, do not be like those people. Take your time, digest the information, because it's a very great way to start. It really enlightens you on the aspects and areas that is covered there on Cisco platform. So that is one way for you to start. You can start for free on Cisco Networking Academy. Also, you can try areas like TryHackMe. TryHackMe has, I think they have the introduction to cybersecurity there as well. It is a great opportunity for people who are looking to go into red team to take TryHackMe. The problem there is that you may now get overwhelmed with the resources there on TryHackMe, right? And that is where I think it's great to now think about what Mercy said when she said, how can you guys know places that are not too pricey but are worth your time and your money? And that is where I'll proudly talk about my academy. I'm sorry, but I'm going to proudly say that my academy offers quality training. And not just quality training, it's a kind of structure where after the training, you're very guaranteed of internship. I'm not saying a job, please. Please, I'm going to sing it like song. Thank God this session is recorded. So if you can quote me, you will not quote me in the wrong way. I'm not saying a job. I'm saying an internship. And I'm saying internship because out of 100% of our students, 80% have been able to successfully land internships, home and abroad. Not just through our trainings, but even through our communities as well. Like when we started the community initially, right? Some people from the community under the academy have been able to land internships too, through the opportunity shared, insights shared, people helping each other, right? But most importantly, the training too, right? Training is very structured, very intense. So like I said, one thing that we do is that while you're learning practical, you're also taking courses on Cisco and taking courses on other platforms as well. So not just the Cisco, I also mentioned TryHackMe. TryHackMe is there too. Now let's say you're interested in Blue Team. The platform for you for Blue Team is BTLO, Blue Team Labs. Blue Team Labs. So if you're interested in Blue Team roles like SOC analysis, even cloud security, incident response, threat intelligence, cybersecurity awareness professional, what other field is there? There are so many fields in Blue Team, right? So if you're interested in Blue Team roles, BTLO is a great way for you to start. Although there are premium versions, right? There's the premium version of BTLO, you can start there for free. There are lots of modules there for free, right? But then if we're looking at introduction to cybersecurity, all that, Cisco Networking Academy is the place to go. Taking the junior cybersecurity analyst part is the place to go if you want something for free. My academy is not free, so if you're interested, my academy is not free, right? The academy is not free at all. But you're getting live classes with instructors that are working in their roles. By working in their roles, I mean, besides teaching in the academy is a side hustle they decided to do for me for charity because I've begged them, right? Because if it's to pay them how much they are worth, I cannot pay them, right? So the academy is there for you to do that. If you're a lady, I'm also, everybody is laughing because she knows that I used to come and beg her sometimes to handle sessions for me. So yes, we take very skilled professionals, right? You come there, you learn. There's an upcoming cohort in November, although we've not started publicity for it yet. Upcoming cohort in November, 6 weeks. Is 60,000 naira, but we're only giving 20 people for 35,000 naira for 6 weeks. At the end of the day, you're living with a CV, you're living with an optimized social media platform, you're living with how to build your portfolio even after the training, and you're also living with which part is best for you. So the 6 weeks is tailored for people who are not, they don't have anything in cybersecurity that they want to do, but they want to learn cybersecurity. So when you come for the 6 weeks training, you're giving insights to cybersecurity threat and terminologies, and you're also giving insight to various roles of cybersecurity. What that means is that if you're interested in ethical hacking, but you're not sure, we're going to cover ethical hacking overview. You're going to be taught, you're going to be shown the environment and what to typically be doing. If you're interested in Blue Team, we're also still going to cover things like cloud security, incident response, all that. And then we're going to do overview of all of them, right? So at the end of the day, we'll now take you over a session of, okay, which part was most interesting to you? And then we can also tell you how to keep learning, where to keep learning, and even design a structure for you to follow if you know that you can learn at your pace. That is self-learn. Then for ladies, if you're a lady, I highly recommend Cyber Girls Fellowship Program. Yes, so I have my academy, right? But then there are perks that Cyber Girls Fellowship Program gives you. right? So if you're a lady, you can also look into Cyber Girls Fellowship Program. It is free, but it is highly competitive, right? What that means is that that free that you want to learn and to get all the benefits, you have to be worth it. You self have to be worth it. So that's it. I don't know if there's anything I'm missing, any other question that I've not answered or something I've not touched missing.
No, I think you said everything, and I hope everyone has already taken insight to what you just said, including myself.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So for career paths and for those transitioning from another field, the thing is people don't realize that cybersecurity isn't one size fits all. So can you please talk about like different career paths available, both technical and non-technical ones, and then also like what about those that are already in another career like business, banking, education, and all of that? Like what is the best way you can say, okay, oh, this is how you can transit smoothly into the cybersecurity field?
Thank you so much for that question. First of all, I'm going to answer the question of the various career paths in cybersecurity. They are basically divided into three. We have red teaming, blue teaming, and purple teaming. Red team are for people who want to be in the offensive part of cybersecurity. What that basically means is that you typically be working in roles like hacking roles, malware analysis. So we're talking penetration testing, ethical hacking, bug bounty hunting, malware analysis, right? Those are red team roles. So if you're somebody who doesn't like reading, I would say that because blue team has more of where you see more blue team roles in the aspect of reading or non-technicality, right? But red team roles has to do with more hands-on. There's more hands-on, there's more action, there's even programming. It's highly advised that if you want to be one badass red teamer, you have to learn programming to a very, very reasonable extent. Programming languages like Python, JavaScript, and I think even C++, right? So those are some programming languages that you should learn if you're going into red teaming. I'm just going to put this in certifications that you're going to look at: certified ethical hacker, OSCP, right? The offensive security certified professional. Okay, yes, and those are just beginner sets. There are other sets that you can get when you go into your role. Then each of these different roles can be sub-classified, like penetration testing. Inside pen testing, there's network pen testing, there is wireless pen testing, cloud pen testing, web pen testing, and I think even social engineering penetration testing. So there are so many roles in cybersecurity. That this is just for red teaming. There are so many other roles in red teaming. Now, blue teaming is for somebody who wants to do defense. So your own is not to try to breach a system. So offensive people in red teaming, your own is to, okay, this system has been built. Let me try and hack the system, or let me try and put this system down. Because it's in hacking that system and it's in trying to pull that system down that you're able to find vulnerabilities and tell the organization that, okay, this is how I did it. So this is what you're to do to prevent such things from happening again in case of a real hacker. So that is what red teamers typically do. Then for blue teamers, they don't try to pull down a system. They don't try to hack a system. You're basically to what? Build defenses. So you want to imagine a rope now that is supposed to tie something. We're going to use that illustration. So if you're a red teamer, what you do is that you tie the bag with the rope. When you tie the bag with the rope, after tying the bag with the rope, you're now going to try and cut it. You try and cut it. So the work is basically that. So you are just going to try and imagine that when you tie that bag with the rope, you want to test how strong that rope is as a red teamer, because you want to make sure that as the person is traveling with that bag and hanging that rope to hold the bag, it doesn't cut. So what the red teamer will do is what? When the rope is tightened, they will now do what? Try to use something to cut that rope, cut that rope, cut that rope. So you're intentionally what? Trying to break the rope as a red teamer. So if it doesn't break, then you know that okay, oh, this rope is strong enough. But if it does break or if it cuts, then you know that okay, oh, what actually cut it? And how can you strengthen that rope? Then if it is for blue teaming, you set up a defense. You're not hacking it. You're setting up a defense. And in the process of setting up that defense, you have things or measures that are put in place in case that defense is breached. So you know that a firewall is to do what? Filter traffic to prevent unauthorized access from gaining access to a system or suspicious IP addresses from gaining access to a system, right? So now when you set up that firewall, if in case of a situation where the hacker breaches that firewall, what the blue teamer does is now to go and check its incident response plan, for instance, and say, okay, oh, in case of a breach, what are we supposed to do? So let's now go back to the illustration of the rope, and you just basically try as best as possible to strengthen that rope as tight as possible. So you're just going to try and drag it to make sure that the knot is something that can never be loosened. And you just keep going and working like that. Then let's say you have an extra rope inside that bag so that in case it cuts, you carry a new rope and drag it again and keep going. So that is how blue teaming basically works. So you're just to set up defenses that you know is supposed to be best for your organization system. Typical roles in blue teaming include cloud security, although there's even cloud pen testing, right? So there's red teaming in the cloud. But most aspects of the cloud, I think it's blue teaming because there's even SOC in the cloud, right? So many career fields in the cloud. SOC analysis is there, incident response is there, threat intelligence is there, working as a cybersecurity awareness professional, you're classified under blue team. Cybersecurity consultant is also blue team, right? But mostly purple team, and I'll get to that. I'll get to why cloud security, cybersecurity consultant is for purple teaming. Those are typical roles for blue teaming, and certifications in blue teaming would include certified information. I've forgotten what's the full meaning of CISSP. Oh my god, I hope it is. But CISSP is a certification for blue teamers, right? I think some red teamers still take it, but it's mostly for blue teamers. They classify Security Plus under blue teaming, right? But Security Plus is just an entry level set for cybersecurity professionals. Then, if you're going into areas like cloud security and even SOC, I think there are dedicated certifications for each of those roles, right? Then for purple teaming is collaboration of both. So you want to think of when you say hybrid event is both in person and what online. So when you're talking about purple teaming is like that, collaborating blue team and red team. So it's the combination of both. If you're a purple team professional, if you're working on that purple, you're a purple teamer, right? That means you have a combination of what? Blue team and red team roles or red team skills. Typical roles here, cybersecurity researchers. You cannot be a cybersecurity researcher and only have idea on blue team. It is practically impossible because typical things you'll be doing as a researcher is feeding cybersecurity tools and platforms with data as a researcher, right? So that's besides writing and all that. You'll be feeding these platforms with data and best ways to perform. So if you have only idea on one aspect of cybersecurity, you cannot be an effective researcher. A researcher is somebody that has broad knowledge and broad experience. So as a successful cybersecurity researcher, you have to have hands-on and practical skills and theoretical knowledge on both blue team and red team. Then cybersecurity consultants also fall under purple team. Why? Because you cannot give advice to an organization without having insight on both areas, right? Because at the end of the day, your organization may need expertise on both fields. So that's basically for various roles in cybersecurity. Now, if we're talking about technical and non-technical roles, there are non-technical roles in red teaming. But that means you're typically working as maybe a cybersecurity technical writer and you're focused on red team areas. Because out of 100% of red team roles, I think a good 85%, if not 90% or 95% are technical related. That is, you're getting your hands on, and not just hands on, but hands on really structured things. It's not like blue team is easier, right? It's not easier because somebody that is mastering or somebody who prefers red team cannot want to do blue team. They may look at you as somebody that is very, very they'll look at you as somebody who tries a lot. They'll say, okay, oh, this thing I cannot do it. I don't know how you do it. The same way blue teamers will look at red teamers and say, I don't know how you do it. I can't do this, right? So basically, that is it, right? If you want to do a non-technical role in cybersecurity, you can actually do non-technical under red teaming. But like I said, you typically be doing maybe technical writing under red teaming. So it's not technical, right? And you're still well paid. You're actually still well paid. Then other non-technical roles would include cybersecurity instructing, cybersecurity consulting, cybersecurity awareness trainer. As funny as it may sound, I remember when I was just growing in the industry, and I used to look down on roles like cybersecurity instructing or cybersecurity awareness trainer or cybersecurity content creators even. But guess what? If you see how much some of them are being paid, I feel like if most people knew how much some of these non-technical roles are being paid, they would actually, with their full chest, do what they can do in cybersecurity. Because I know I saw one ad recently for a senior cybersecurity content creator. That's somebody who is very advanced in this cybersecurity content creation, and the pay. I don't think that if I remember correctly, I think it was 750K that was there. I mean, for those of us in Nigeria, we would know that okay, it's actually good enough and something that can still be negotiated because you're not going to be sitting and be drafting content every day, right? Definitely not. And you can even use one day and create content. It's the editing that may take work. So they're still well paid. Then even cybersecurity awareness trainers. I know somebody that sat down and charged a Navy organization for 2 hours of her time, 900,000 naira to train them on cybersecurity awareness. And the list just goes on. So if you're looking at non-technical roles in cybersecurity, do not be afraid to embrace it. Even though that's where your power can reach, please don't tell yourself that you want to do ethical hacking. Then that's for non-technical roles. Like I said, technical roles, cloud security is there. Basically, blue team roles that are technical, they're still there. They SOC, where you'll be monitoring the systems, set up monitoring tools like maybe SIEM, SOC, all those things, right? So that's it. Now, for those people who want to venture, I think I'll just chip this in. Please do not be afraid if you're delving from one career field to another in cybersecurity or transitioning. Do not be afraid to do that at all. There are so many people who have done that. I've had students, you want dollars, it's still very possible to have dollars, right? It's very, very possible. You can either freelance, that's where you're starting out, right? Or actively look for roles that offer dollars. Now, like I said, if you want to transition to cybersecurity, please do not be afraid to do that. I've had students that have transitioned in cybersecurity and they are doing well, right? I think the most recent one for us is the microbiologist who literally told me to my face that he is not certain that the cybersecurity is what he can do. And I had to tell him to calm down. If at the end of the day, nothing productive comes out of the training, I'll refund his money. So what happened was that we took him judiciously, and at the end of the day, fast forward to no less than 2 months, he was able to actively apply and get an internship. And was able to, the funny thing was that when he was doing the internship, he'll come and say, "Ma, this thing that you taught us is here, this internship." So I'm even wondering if this internship is for me or if I'm not bigger than the internship. I'm like, okay. So he was happy, right, at the end of the day. So please do not be afraid to transition. Now, to anybody transitioning, and let's say you're now looking for something that's not too hectic for you, that is where I think more good news comes for you. So if you're a banker, if you're somebody who works in the bank, right, you already have a job in the bank and you're an accountant, you're so lucky. You know that, funny enough, I've not even mentioned GRC. I've not mentioned GRC in cybersecurity. I cannot believe I've not mentioned it. When it is hot cake in cybersecurity, it's one of the hottest non-technical roles in cybersecurity. So if you're working in the bank, one of the easiest roles, no, I won't say it's easy, but one of the very flexible roles that you can enter is GRC in cybersecurity. I'm saying GRC in cybersecurity specifically because GRC is not just for cybersecurity, right? It also expands to other industries. But there is GRC in cybersecurity, and you typical roles in GRC cybersecurity is compliance analysis, right? So if you're a banker, or if you're an accountant, or if you're working in the finance sector, they always have rules and regulations that they must follow. And now with the era of transitioning into things like mobile apps, online payments, POS, there's ATM card payment, right? There has never been a need for cybersecurity professionals and GRC cybersecurity like there is today. So because each of these aspects of the bank, they follow certain rules and regulations, like NDPR that governs what data, PCI DSS that governs what card payments, right? So if you're looking for a non-technical role to transition into a cybersecurity and basically you're working in the banking sector, this is one good area that you should definitely consider. And you can also do penetration testing, right? A bank would always do pen tests. They have to protect people's money. And if you know how much they invest in for security audits, you take up cybersecurity. That's all I have to say. Because basically, alongside cybersecurity education, the academy is looking at offering more services where we would now train our students to now have internships. Not just internships, but we'll now have like a talent hub. And that talent hub is where there will be more training for our students, we're looking at making those ones free for successful and good graduates, not just people that scale through small, but those ones that did very well in their training will now be taken to that talent hub, and they will now be taken from there for hire and working on projects and all that. So currently now we have some that are working on a fintech project, and I know how much is going in there for cybersecurity. So, like I said, GRC security audits, if you're looking to delve or transition, it's going to be a seamless journey for you in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is not, I mean, everybody learns cybersecurity. Everything is teachable. Everything is learnable, right? So it is not something to be afraid of. And every industry, as far as they are running resources over the internet, needs a cybersecurity professional. Even developers, I will say, hey, they don't need cybersecurity professionals. They are putting strong authentication rates. I used to, anytime I'm in the conversation with a developer, I was talking about security. I love it because I always know how to go back, like to hit them and say, there's no, at this point, you need us. I love conversations like that because I used to have to prove them wrong when they say that they don't really need cybersecurity professionals, especially DevOps professionals. If you've ever been in a conversation with a DevOps professional and you're arguing security with them, they'll say they also learn about SAST when they're learning DevOps. It used to be so annoying. But there's still a difference between you, like security inclined, and between those people that are just putting up maybe extra layer of security. When we're looking at things like threat intelligence. If you're looking at threat intelligence is subdivided into threat hunting and threat modeling. So if you're looking for something that's not too technical, I think threat modeling is also good for you, right? Because it is not too technical. All you have to do is apply your knowledge base and understand your industry that you're working with. So what that means is that if you're working for a software development company and you want to do cybersecurity, threat modeling is a good way to start. Because threat modeling, you can design a system, you can design a website before they even start development and identify potential threats that can occur on that website. So I'll say that again. With threat modeling, you can design a website, model that website on the threat modeling platform, and then once you're done with that, yes, there's also GRC engineering. Thank you for that. Once you're done with that, you would now identify potential threats on that system or website, and then know what to do, what to change, what to remove, and how to now advise the developers on next lines of action that help to typically reduce the amount of risk that website is open to, right? So I don't know if I've been able to answer your question, Mercy.
Yeah, you have. Thank you so much, Onone Obazi, for sharing your journey and giving us a clear picture of what things and how to build a career in cybersecurity, and also giving us practical steps for those that are just joining the cybersecurity space. Please, if you have any questions, you can ask your questions now before she leaves, because she will be leaving soon. Please, if you know you have questions, please drop them in the chat so that she can answer them. Or if you need help with anything, just drop it in the chat so that she can go through them and answer them before she leaves. Okay, as we are doing that, I would like to hand over things to Ayo so that she can give, introduce to you and everybody on this call what we are building at SciCloud Forts and how you can also be part of it. So, Ayo, over to you.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Anane, for that insightful session. I really enjoyed it and you took me back to the beginner days. So not to waste our time too much, let me first start by thanking everybody for joining because for us this means a lot actually. We're a startup and hosting a webinar, as a startup that's just coming up, we don't really have that, much how would I put this? Should I say that influence to call out like crowds or anything? So even when we have just 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, it's actually a big win for us. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope that we didn't disappoint you. So please help us fill the form for the post event survey, and if you have any questions, please drop in the chat box. So my name is Ayomide, and I'm the founder of Cybersecurity, and I'm also a cybersecurity engineer, and I specialize in cloud security during my time in CyberGirls. Although now I'm already, what's it called? Getting my hands dirty with other areas. That's one beautiful thing about cybersecurity. It is wide. It is very, very, very broad, and you don't have to trap yourself in a bubble. You can, learn API security and you're like, okay, you want to go to another domain, just make sure that whatever it is you're learning, like Onone said, make sure you digest it well. Don't rush. Get your hands dirty on it. Like, do enough labs, please. Don't rush. Try to know it. Try to know it very well, please. Whatever it is you're learning, even if you want to take 2 domains at once, please just start with one. Learn very well, like she has said. So before we wrap up, I just want to share what we are doing and what we are doing. Basically what we're building at Cyclopedia. So let me start with our mission statement, but I won't do all of that. Our mission is blah blah blah. I'll just like explain what our mission means, like in lame words. So what we are doing, our mission basically is that we don't just want to sell security tools. We don't just want to build just another product. We want to build intelligent systems that adapt to threats in real time. So, because every business deserves protection that is as smart as the threats they face. And for our vision, we're thinking global from day one. Even though we're building for Africa right now, we're thinking global from day one. And we believe that what we are building here will set the standard worldwide, basically. So let me introduce our product, Akio One. Akio One is our flagship product, and at first, I wouldn't lie, we were generic at first. Akio One is a threat intelligence platform, and at first we were very, very generic. We're just thinking, okay, we want to build something that can detect and respond to threats in real time. But the thing is, you can't be everything to everybody. You have to niche that at some point in time. And for threat landscape, what affects one sector is not the same thing that will affect another sector, basically. So we want to study one sector's threat landscape, see if we can really solve a problem there before we go to other sectors, maybe like in 5 years' time or in 10 years' time, basically. So we're starting with fintech and mobile money providers. That's what we're doing basically right now. So, because this is the problem, in all organizations, everybody faces APTs, that's advanced persistent threat. And when you have a threat intelligence that is generic, it might not really cut it for fintech. Mobile money providers face specific attack patterns like fraudulent transactions, account takeovers, payment fraud. Like in fintech, there are subsectors. Like for example, we talked to a potential customer, and they're a card processing company, and you telling them that, oh, we detect threats, we have a product that detects threats, we can respond to your threats, sounds generic to them. They need to see how your platform would detect threats that like that concerns them or that affects them. So telling them that we'll monitor your transactions is still generic to them, because the guy opened up to me, the CTO opened up to me that for now they don't have dedicated security team, and they're using security capabilities in AWS. So they're like, if you are telling me you're just going to monitor my transaction, then this is generic. We need something so he wanted to see how exactly, like one of the threats that affects card management companies, I think card chargeback, and yeah, even card theft, things like that. So he wanted to see how our platform can actually detect that kind of threat. So that's it about fintech. And for every other sector too, if you go to any other sector, you're telling them that, oh, we're going to help you detect. Saying you want to detect and respond to threats is very, very generic. And we wouldn't have been able to learn this if we've not tried to talk to customers, if we've not tried to talk to users and try to actually solve their problem. So that's basically what we are doing at SciCloud for Tay. And we also have services. We do security audit, IT training, phishing simulation, cloud security services, risk mitigation, incident response. These are our services basically. But the focus right now is on the MVP basically for Acure One. And we also have a community. I'm very sure Mercy mentioned that, and she's going to share the link in the chat box. Please do well to follow, do well to join. Yes, do well to join our community, and do well to follow our pages. We are building a movement currently, and that's never defend alone. We want to bring this idea that talks about, or the idea that sheds light on the fact that security is everyone's responsibility. So it doesn't matter wherever it is you're working or whatever department it is you're working. We want to put security into your hands, basically. When I mean security into your hands, you have to understand that these basic things that you're asked to do, like using MFA, using strong password, they are also security practices. And you don't have to treat it like, oh, I don't really care. I'm not really in cybersecurity. I'm not a security professional. I don't really have to do. So that's why we are building our community, to make sure that everybody is involved in security. So you never defend alone, and you can all defend together. So I think I'll be wrapping it up here, and I'll hand over back to Mercy. Thank you, everybody. Okay, I want Onene to actually answer some questions I'm seeing in the chat box.
Yes, before we go, I just want to
So sorry.
go answer your questions here. Please reach out to Onone on LinkedIn.
Is she still here?
So that
Can she answer like a few? I think I'm
she's still here.
Okay. Onone, is it possible for you to answer a few?
Even if you, I think somebody already asked the question, say, on the chat box.
Okay. Onone, can you answer like just one?
We can see one question here. In pen testing, should one specialize in subsectors, or can one still be a pro pen tester in the general subsector? Asking because I just started my journey in cybersecurity. Okay, so when you say pro sector in pen testing, right? You're asking because in the general subsector. When you say general subsector, what do you mean? Can you unmute your mic and explain it further, just very briefly because of time?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, like during my research, I found out that in pen testing there are other sectors inside pen testing that you mentioned,
The
So I'm
network pen
talking of,
testing, yeah.
yeah. So that's the sector I'm talking of. Thank you.
Okay. So in pen testing, I don't think there's any general subsector, right? There's no general pen testing. Unless you want to now develop your skills in most, let's say, out of the maybe 5 subsectors in pen testing, you now develop your skills in 3 of them or 2 of them, right? Then you know, okay, maybe you're a pro in those ones. But you can't pick one and master in it. So you can say you're a network pen tester, or you can say you're a web penetration tester. You focus on pen testing over the web, over websites, web applications, all that, and so on. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, you have answered my question.
Okay, then. Is there any other question? Or that's fine. Merci.
Yeah, for any other question, please reach out to her on LinkedIn and Ayo too. They would put you through whatsoever it is that you are confused about. Thank you so much, Ononi, for joining us this evening. We
Thank you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it and we don't take it for granted. And yeah, thank you for those that took out time out of their busy schedules to join. We really appreciate and God bless you. And we hope to see you in our next webinar series.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Please do connect with us. Connect with us like after. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, and our podcast. Then join our community. We have a resource hub for beginners. Basically, we share. You know, I said our community is for everybody because we believe security is everyone's responsibility. So we share resources across all tech tracks. We don't just limit to cybersecurity. This is everybody's responsibility, and we want everyone to be involved. So, as you're learning more about how you can help or how you can, secure your organization in your own little way, you also get value. You get resources to help you in your journey, whether you're a designer, a marketer, anything basically that you're doing. Yeah. So, and if you want to know more about Acure One, follow us again. We drop updates actually on our in our community because we are building this. We're not building this alone. We're building this with our community, and we can't do this without them. So that feedback is very important. And when you join to your feedback is invaluable. So please do join our community so you can shape the future of threat intelligence in fintech and mobile money provider sector, basically. And so it doesn't really matter that, oh, okay, you have to be a pen tester working in fintech. You could even be the designer. I mean, I have a team too, and our design guy, if he doesn't understand the importance of security, he wouldn't be able to come up with like the best bet features. Basically, he wouldn't even be able to understand how a threat intelligence platform should work. Yes, he doesn't know how to tread onto anything, but he needs to understand the basic of security. You can't teach product alignment. You cannot bring up people or bring people together who don't understand your vision or your product. They need to understand your vision and product. So if you're working in any fintech organization, obviously in one or two ways or 1 or 2 times you would have come across, so this is what is troubling us security wise. So we need to solve this. And I mean, you can shape our product to over here, like basically. So I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayo.
You're welcome. Please, guys, please fill the form so we can know how we did and how we can do better. Thank you.
Yes, please fill the form so we can get feedbacks from you and use it to improve. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.